Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Gilbert, joined as always with my co-host, Joel Meyer. Joel, if you don't want to be a Hockey Gambling Podcast host, you're not going to be a Hockey Gambling Podcast host. I'm going to have to trade you. But how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, nice one there. I'm doing okay, I guess. Another defeat in the sport of football, but I'm tired of whining about my losing football bets for the past few weeks. So, how about those fucking Vancouver Canucks though? I was watching that at the same time as the Natty, and they, the shotgun doesn't tell the story, but the Canucks were dominant the first two periods at least, and just outskilled the Rangers, who were playing in their own end for a lot of the game. And yeah, the Canucks are, I was having my doubts, like most of the season, I got all these bets on them, but I still in the back of my mind, like, look at their PDO. They're making all these saves, they're getting all the bounces, they're scoring these goals that maybe they shouldn't, but now this team is the real deal. And I'm really starting to believe. And yeah, before the season, I have 150 to 1 for them to win the President's Trophy. And I was thinking of just, using the equity, hedging here and there. But you know what I did this morning? I bet some more, 16 to 1 for the Canucks to win the Presidents. So we'll see how that goes. We have a few other opponents and contenders to deal with, but no, I'm all in on this team now. The real deal. Fuck the PDO shit. Canucks are going all the way.
I mean, yeah, the Canucks look good. Good win last night. I think we're both on them tonight in Long Island. There, I think the line moved against them. They were plus 110. I think when we podcasted, recorded yesterday, and then I think they're down to maybe minus 105 or even money now. So yeah, the money's moving that way. They do have some competition there. I mean, the Jets are still in first, but like they were top of the West at this point last year. So we'll see if that continues. Bruins always tough, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting race there. So I think 16 to 1 is probably a good look for the Canucks. I'm doing pretty good. I am more positive than most about this Cutter Gauthier, Jamie Drysdale situation. We'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, where you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Also, subscribe to us on YouTube, going live there. We're live there now. Shout out everyone in the chat. If you have any questions for us, we'll get to them at the end of the show. Should be a bit of a shorter show here with only 3 games and some futures talk at the end. But yeah, anything else you want to? How'd the national championship go for you? That was pretty good, right? Or no, Washington. You were on Washington. You were anti-Michigan.
Not good. Fun game though. At least Washington were more competitive than it looked like in the first quarter. First quarter, Michigan just bullied them. If we were guessing, maybe it's going to be like Georgia, what they did to TCU, what they did to Michigan 2 years ago, just being the stronger team, just running down the throat, and nothing that the smaller team can do about it. But no, Washington actually came back. They made some adjustments on defense. They were able to stop the run, force McCarthy to make some plays, which he did, to be fair. And on the offense, though, Michael Penis turned into we went flaccid, and he didn't make the throws he was making all year long. He looked like amazing last week. He looked like the quarterback that started this season, the first half of the year, and I was thinking, okay, he's healthy again, but no. Last night, no, he turned back into a bit of a pumpkin and just was missing throws that he usually made. And unfortunately, we lost, but good for our SMAP, Beijing Wings, who was a major Michigan fan. And he was, he hasn't been seen or heard from since, but I'm sure he's on a nice bender celebrating the win for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I'm sure he's having a good time there. Yeah, I saw Michigan went up pretty early and then took a lead there. And I mean, yeah, I was surprised just as a casual fan that they were such a small favorite. So I guess it was kind of the expected outcome, but all I read and saw was that like the 1 game sample size, Washington, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, Washington is playing. They play close games all year long. Like they won them all. They were like the Minnesota Vikings last year, but in this one, no, they just went up against a superior team, and that's what happens when the bigger, stronger team. Oh, do we have somebody coming into the
Talon is apparently good to join us here. I thought he was working tonight. Talon's working. Talon maybe over to take over here. Here, let's bring him in. Talon
Oh,
Jenkins.
look who it is.
Thought you were working tonight. We got my co-host, the main host, Talon Jenkins, joining us right now. How you doing, Talon? You look like you woke up from a nap.
I just woke up like right now. I don't work. I was on midnights. How we doing? What's up? What's going on?
We're doing
we were
good.
just talking about the Natty. Did you watch that game? I guess not. You were working, right?
No, I was working last. I was tracking it though. What a kind of a letdown spot that was, dude. Joel, you were on Washington, right?
Yeah, from way back when. I didn't have much hope, Line was closed like -5, -5.5, but at least they came back in the game, made it competitive. But no, there was only one team winning that one.
Panix Jr., I saw some clips. It looked a little nervous, yo. It looked a little shaky in a big time game. Fuck, this guy, you're expecting to go off for like 300 yards every game. And I guess he saw like 260 through the air, which is good, but like bit of a I don't want to say disappointment, but I mean, I thought he was just going to go out and absolutely ball out, but hey, is what it is, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he has a bunch of receivers who are going to be in the NFL sooner than later. And unfortunately, he just couldn't connect with them a lot of the time. And also, Michigan Wolverines, their defensive line just dominated the Washington O-line. Oh, and by Talon. But it was a nice little cameo.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll get into the Cutter Gauthier stuff. The big thing here, big news in the hockey world over the past 24, 23 hours here is the Flyers were more or less forced to trade Cutter Gauthier. Apparently, he did not want to be in Philadelphia. If you don't want to be a Flyer, then you're not going to be a Flyer. And the Flyers made that known last night after the trade. But I'll just go through the timeline here a bit of the Gauthier news as it came down to me. I was enjoying myself after the podcast last night. The Flyers were playing the Penguins, already down 1 or 2-0 in the first period.
Having problems.
It's all good. And then it's I got the news or email from the Flyers. Flyers acquire defenseman ... And I was like, who the fuck are the Flyers trading for right now in the middle of a game? Like, what's going on? I see it's Jamie Drysdale and a second round pick. I'm like, okay, who they give up for them? And it's fucking Cutter Gauthier, the guy less than a week ago I'm praising. He's going to be the Flyers' next great sniper. He had the big goal in the World Juniors to send him to the gold medal game. He was the top point scorer, or tied for the top point scorer. And he's gone. He did not want to play in Philadelphia. As the night progressed, things leaked out that, it was probably around last year at the Worlds, around May. He decided he didn't want to play with the Flyers. And things come out that, there's a reporter from Philadelphia who is known to throw a lot of shit at the wall. And then if what few things do stick, he's like, oh, I called that right. He says, oh, I think Kevin Hayes' fingerprints all over this. And then Ryan Whitney slaps back at that with quotes from Hayes. Andy Strickland came out today from Hayes, and like that was great to see, because like that just, I hate that kind of reporting where it breeds like other people trying to be insiders saying like, oh, I'm hearing this. And then when something happens that they did say they were hearing, they're like, oh, I'm an insider now. So, but that point besides there, yeah, Cutter Gauthier didn't want to play here, so he's not going to play here. And I think the biggest thing is that this was 6-7 months where the Flyers reached out to, I think, 15 to 20 teams. Danny Briere, Keith Jones said that they knew Gauthier would want to potentially sign with. And credit to those teams, credit to the Flyers for keeping that quiet for as long as they did. Because if that got out, that would have definitely hurt their leverage. This was probably his highest value right now, coming off the World Juniors, as Keith Jones said. And yeah, I don't buy the Kevin Hayes stuff at all. I am actually, as I said before in the podcast, I am kind of liking this news. It's very rare that a 5th overall pick, especially from 2 years ago, gets traded. Oh, I want to mention that the Flyers apparently wanted to trade up and draft Reinbacher's 5th overall for Gauthier, who was the 5th overall pick the year before, which I think would have been a great move. But I think that this trade is even better. Gauthier didn't want to play. Apparently, Friedman reported today that it was due to a contractual issue where Gauthier wanted to, he always wanted to be one and done. He told the Flyers when he was drafted, he was pumped up to be a Flyer, he was pumped up to join the organization. He had a quote, I think, with Chicklets over the summer about like when he met John Tortorella, he was like, happy to be here, happy to meet you. And Tortorella was like, yeah, I love that shit. Love that. So like, I don't think it was Tortorella. I don't think it was Hayes. I think it was just, a contract thing. maybe a teenager being a teenager, wanting to play with his friends, play in California, not want to play in a hard market, what have you. But yeah, overall, I am happy with this trade. I feel like the Flyers needed a defenseman, specifically a right-handed defenseman. You can go out and get a top 6, middle 6 winger in free agency. We saw Tarasenko sign a 1-year deal. You can go out and trade for someone like DeBrincat. You can sign these guys to be role players, but defensemen, especially right-handed defensemen, you can't go out in free agency and not get without completely overpaying for it. And defenseman is something that the Flyers definitely needed. I think Drysdale right now is probably like a number 4. He's like a solid second pair guy for a good team. He's one of those guys, like as Talon always talks about, got fucked by the pandemic. He was drafted in 2020, and then really his development kind of hit a wall there with that. And also his injuries. I don't remember exactly what he had, but I think it was something, last year and this year after having a full season 2 years ago. Still 21 years old, going to be 22, I think, in April or May here. So he's still young. He's younger than Cam York, who we drafted a few years ago. He gives us a right-handed defenseman. The Flyers are now going to be able to, trade Sean Walker now. There was a question of if they trade him, but now that they have a right-handed defenseman, they can just plug him in for Sean Walker, trade Sean Walker for a first-round pick, maybe trade Sealer with them and get something else. So yeah, a lot of people are like, okay, Cutter Gauthier might be a great sniper at the NHL. He could be 40, 50 goal scorer, whatever. And if that happens, we're going to hate him as much as we possibly can. It's going to be hellish for him coming into the Farg next year, his first game with the Ducks. You got the JD Drew, Scott Rowland, whoever else here talking about bringing batteries into the game. So all that good Philadelphia stuff. It like, frankly, it sucks to lose Cutter Gauthier, 5th overall pick, but like the Flyers, he turned heel. He said he wanted to sign with the Flyers. He said he wanted to excited to be with the Flyers. They weren't going to sign him, or they weren't going to draft him if they didn't know that he wanted to be there. So something changed over the past 12 months, whether it be at juniors, whether it be contractually, whether it be somehow torts or what have you. Some of these rumors out there. And yeah, it sucks to lose a 5th overall pick. It's very rare to trade a 5th overall pick before he reaches the NHL. But if he wasn't going to sign, the Flyers did a great job of keeping it quiet, using the leverage that they really didn't have to get a legitimate defenseman that has top pair potential, can run a power play. He's done that for the Ducks, and that's something that the Flyers desperately need. Their power play is hellish, and he fits the timeline. He's going to be 23, 24 when Michkov comes over in 2 or 3 years. He's going to be right a part of that core. So I feel like defensemen are harder to find. Gauthier could end up panning out and being a great, first line winger. They were trying to make him a center a little bit. I'm not sure if that's going to pan out, but he can be a good winger. And nope, quite frankly, I think he fits in with Anaheim's kind of soft culture over there with Trevor Zegras. So I'm gonna join you guys hating on the Ducks for the foreseeable future. So that'll be good. We'll be going. All the quacking is done here. But yeah, those are my initial takeaways here. I'm not sure what you guys have on it at all.
Well, my favorite thing about it was Tortorella's presser, where he's like, I don't know, Cutter from a hole in the wall. He's done with it.
So many good quotes. So many good quotes came out.
I want to talk about Jamie. He's the guy coming here. Fuck the other guy leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and this is the 2024 pick, right? So it'll be
no, it's 2025. It's 2025 second round pick. But like the Ducks are going to be a bottom 10 team, so it's going to be a top 40, 45 pick at worst. Like it's kind of like a first round pick.
Yeah, but we've been pumping the tires with Jamie Drysdale for a while. He hasn't quite met his potential yet, but he certainly has that potential. And yeah, I think that under Tortorella, I think that he'll bring him in slow as he tends to do with the younger players. But no, that I think it sucks losing Gauthier, who's going to be a tremendous talent and all that. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world for the Flyers. I was expecting you to be on the opposite side of this, like the rest of the Flyers fan base, but no, you're seeing the bright side of things, and that's fine. Yeah, like Gauthier was, he's other than Celebrini, I think the best player in terms of talent wise, maybe not in terms of production, but at the World Juniors. We could talk about Yuri Kulich and all that, but no, Gauthier was phenomenal, just making these plays and all that, and it's right that the Flyers were excited for him, then just ultimately blue balled at the end of it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's it's not the worst deal for the Flyers. They could have done a lot worse. It wasn't a total Lindros situation where He just got fucked. Yeah. So what do you think, Talon?
No, but just on that Lindros note, this is not a Lindros situation. Lindros made it known he would not play in Quebec,
and they drafted him anyway.
So fuck Quebec for that. And also, it's the Flyers have like so many good young forwards, especially wingers. Konechny is still only 26. Farabee's 23. He's coming into his own now after a neck surgery last year. Owen Tippett's looking like a player. Bobby Brink, Tyson Forster, both solid rookies. So even Morgan Frost, like they have these young forwards. They just needed a young defenseman. So that's why I'm looking at more like positive. Like, yeah, did they possibly lose the trade? Probably, if there's a winner and a loser. But I think it is kind of like a win-win situation for both sides, given the circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's start with what we can start with, right? Like, as a Flyers fan, Ryan, this sucks, right? Like, let's be honest, this fucking sucks. You know, we just watched Carter Gauthier have a fucking fantastic World Juniors tournament. The kid has awesome, offensive power. When we saw him being drafted, I'm sure Flyers fans were hyped for it, right? So this is a bummer. Now, from a Philly point of view, when you have a player that says, "I don't want to sign with you," what's next? Right? Like, what do we do now? You can focus on this kid's bullshit. He doesn't want to do this. And to the Flyers' credit and to Philadelphia fans' credit, for the majority of what I'm seeing, it's fuck this kid. Even with what Torch said, what did we get? Right? And you got Jamie Drysdale. And Jamie Drysdale will be a guy. This was a I think he went 6th overall in 2021 or something like that. Like, this is a guy that, and you brought it up, he was impacted negatively from the whole COVID thing, like a lot of people in that draft were. We don't know fully what we have in Jamie Drysdale. The potential's there for him to be a solid, potentially top 2, top 1, even right-handed defenseman maybe in 4 or 5 years or so. But something that you brought up there, Ryan, that I do agree with is that he does fit the fucking timeline, man. Like, look at the whole Mishkov thing. Look at some of these other younger players that you have here. So, when this first went down, I was like, holy shit, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. But then I started to calm down a little bit and look into it. I'm like, you know what? This isn't the end of the world for the Flyers, dude. My initial thought was, and I don't know why I came to this, and I had to do some digging, and I was wrong with my initial thought. My initial thought was, Philly's fucked themselves in the draft lately. They lost Carter Gauthier. Nolan Patrick didn't turn out, and they flipped him for Ryan Ellis, who didn't play. And then I did a bit more digging, and you guys drafted some guys that are contributing, man, like Joel Farabee, Cam York, who's the other guy, fucking Tyson Forster. Like, these are guys that you picked in the first round in the past, Bobby Brink. These are first-round picks that you guys picked in the past 5 years that are playing on your team and impacting. Some of them are rookies this year, but they're having good rookie seasons, man. So I was wrong. I was like, the Flyers have been screwing themselves out in the draft for the past couple of years. They haven't. They've had 2 kind of things that missed. The Nolan Patrick scenario sucked. He didn't really quite pan out. The Ryan Ellis trade was a little suspect, but hey, you can't win them all. But I don't think that the Jamie Drysdale trade is a loss, dude. Like, this is a guy that will step into your lineup immediately as long as he can stay healthy and then grow with this team, man. And if he shows that, hey, I want to be a Flyer, I want to be in Philly, well, fuck, you guys got a top 4, defenseman, arguably for the next 10, 15 years, for Christ's sake. So, right shot defenseman as well. Like you said, those are hard to come by, man. You don't just trade for those or find those in free agency very often. And if you do, it tends to be an overpayment. So, what I respect here is Danny Briere saying, okay, we're in a shit scenario. Are we going to bitch and moan about it? No, let's do things. Let's do things the proper way. Like you said, nothing leaked out. They kept it under wraps, and let's get some assets, man. It's like somebody shit in my hand, but now I got to wash my hands. So where's the sink? You can bitch about having shit over your hands, or you can go and you can wash your hands. And Danny, that's a great motto. I just made it up, but whatever. Danny Briere washed the shit off of his hands, and his hands are smelling like roses right now, man. So obviously, my connection will always be there for the rest of the time. Ryan Gilbert's going to hate Carter Gauthier for the rest of this kid's career, and rightfully so. If this happened to my team, I'd be pissed at this kid, right? So that's how it should be. Now, Flyers fans, one sec. Any Flyers fans, I'm selling these about $30 a piece. I have a pack of batteries here, $30 each. So if you want it, that's Canadian too. So you're getting a pretty good deal. So just reach out to me on Twitter at @TalonJenkins_94. If you would like to buy some batteries, I'll be happy to sell it for you. But if you're a Flyers fan, be pissed off. Boo the shit out of this kid every day for the rest of his fucking career. Every time he comes into Wells Fargo, get on this guy. There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's good for the sport. So Philly, you got a guy in Jamie Drysdale. You got a 2nd round pick. What are you going to do with that? I don't know. Let's make something like that work too, right? Let's keep the story going here. But overall, it sucks. But overall, there's no shit on anybody's hands. So let's go Flyers. I still think Gritty fucked his mom, but I don't know.
I don't even think like sure it sucks to lose go to like a top prospect like that, but maybe it's just because we got fucked by Patrick and like we had all the hype with Patrick and he didn't pan out. But I'd rather have the sure thing of like a top 4 right-handed defenseman that, like we talked about, like if he doesn't pan out, like in a few years, you can trade him for something decent. Like we saw the Flyers give up a first-round pick for Ristolainen, who was not worth a first-round pick. Like we've seen Seth Jones been traded a few times now as like a right-handed top pick defenseman that hasn't necessarily lived up to his potential. So like teams are going to want this guy no matter what. So I feel like getting him plus a second-round pick that realistically is, it's going to be like a late first. It's going to be in the top 5-10 picks in the second round. Like that's when the Ducks have been drafting. Like we see these teams. Edmonton, their issue is defense. Like we see these teams that have great scorers and not good defensemen, and the Flyers are now building through the back end, and I love to see it.
I agree. I agree. It's such an important. Sorry, it's such an important position, man. And anytime you can find a way to boost your back end, it's hard to go against that.
Yeah. And
you eat some lasagna.
Yeah,
gonna boost your back end.
That's how we got it. Yeah,
sausage.
We got three ad reads this show, so we're late already on our first and second one. So we're brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that helped make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SGP. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. And are brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events should not be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and the best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. I forgot the flash deals, last minute tickets in the Game Time app, images of the seat view, lowest price guarantee, and all that good stuff. So make sure you snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Perfect for the playoffs. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a hotline number for India. I might have to get that up for our good friend in the Discord.
Do they even have numbers in India?
Do they have phones? All right, Talon, am I hosting the show, or are you taking over here?
Yeah, Gilbert, if you don't mind, I just woke up, bro.
That works for me here. I guess now that we're all back, we'll go over Locked Dog Total last show really quickly. Talon 3-0 plus 3.37 units. I was 1-2 down 0.99. Joel 2-1 plus 0.23. T-Bone, you swapped it. You're doing good on January 6th.
Okay, fucking. So I bet you were too, eh? I'm pulling up the sheet right now, sir. I don't really remember picks. I remember sweating out every single one of these picks. Like everyone was close as shit. I think my lock, just off the top of my head, was Minnesota. Minnesota money line versus Columbus. They were losing like 3-2 with like 5 minutes left or something like this, and I was torn. I hated everything to do with the Wild. And then ended up tying it, and I got really fired up. I think they won this game in a shootout. So that came back to hit. My dog was Vancouver money line versus New Jersey plus 102. I believe Vancouver went up early in this game. It was like for 4-0 or something stupid like that, 3-0, and then New Jersey battled back in the third. It was like a 5-4 final. I don't know if Vancouver got an empty net or something like that, but ended up being a 1-goal final. It looked like the Devils were pushing back. But anyways, Canucks held on for me. And then for my total, I had Calgary, Philly, under 6, -115. First period, no goals. I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is a cakewalk. 4 goals in the second. I'm like, holy shit, what the hell? Then I think there was 1 goal early in the third period. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, I'm playing for the push here. I'm playing for the push. Just keep it at 6. And they ended up holding. It was like a 3-2 final. I believe Philly got the win. So, yeah, overall, solid positive day for the kid. I was pretty happy.
Yeah, for me, I went 1 and 2 down, pretty much 1 unit there. My lock was the Oilers -198 against Ottawa. They won at 1-3-1. My dog was Tampa Bay +130 at Boston off a loss, and Boston, took it to them there 7-3. And then my total, Wild Blue Jackets under 6 +105. Like Talon said, it was 3-2 late in the third. I thought maybe it might go under there, but the Wild did tie it up and then win it in overtime.
My lock was the Penguins money line against the Sabres at -162. They lost. I don't remember what happened that one. I don't think it was really close either. Maybe it was close in third period, but the Sabres took the lead back. Dog, was this the Epstein Island game, the Predators versus the Stars? I had the Reds at +136. Got the job done. No problem there. They were leading most of the game. It was pretty close, but I think they were the better team in that one. And then total, Talon mentioned this game already. The Canucks Devils were 6.5. No goals in the first period somehow, despite all the chances. And then it just lit up. 6-4 final, no problem at the end of the day. But I think that the ones that won were good bets. Penguins was not a good bet.
All right, yeah. There, Talon, do you want to go over the Nylander signing now, or you want to do it tomorrow when you have a better head on your shoulders?
How many games do we got today?
We got 3 games. 3. So I mean, if you want to go off a little bit, we can do it after the games too. If you want to collect yourself a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it after the games. Let's get to our picks here. Nobody wants to wait for us to bitch about Nylander before that.
First of all, let's get to Cut here. Cut, K-U-T-T, is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and legal in 40 states. Peer-to-peer social betting is a new and better way to bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes, plus tons of fun social features that give it the feel of a betting social network. Cut offers lower VIG and fully customizable odds. You can create your own bets. They handle the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down for money. Social features like group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profiles, fan groups, and more. And you get rewards. You get cash back every time you bet against your friends or other users. Download Cut today in the App Store. That's K-U-T-T. And use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. That's K-U-T-T. Promo code SGPN. And, of course, Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. So watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit of up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. All right, gentlemen. Are you ready to get into this 3-game slate for Wednesday, January 10th?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I love it here. Kick things off at the 7 p.m. time slot. We got the Montreal Canadiens at the Philadelphia Flyers. Game itself is at the Farg. Flyers are -175. Canadians are +145. Over-under is at 6. Overpaying off -118. With the under at -102 here. I'll kick this off here with my Flyers here at home. And a bit of a slide now. Lost 7 of their past 9 games. 3 of those losses were in overtime. Tough loss to the Penguins at home on Monday night. But no one cared about that. They cared about the Cutter Gauthier situation there. Big win against the Flames in the Ed Snyder Legacy game. A lot of brouhahas and fighting and brawls and whatnot there. Canadians coming off a good win against the Rangers at home, 4-3 in a shootout, got outshot pretty heavily. They got outshot in all 3 of their last games. They are 2-1 in those games, though. But yeah, they're not very good on the road, 9-7-3 on the road, so under 500. But the Flyers aren't good at home either, 9-8-2. So if I wasn't a Flyers fan going into this game, I would probably lean to the Canadians, but give me the Flyers here minus 175. There's no way this team is losing after Gauthier, after being embarrassed by them. They're going to come out. They're going to maybe even on the puck line here plus 136. They've been playing way too many close games recently. We need a good easy win here, and I feel like they might be able to deliver it here against Caden Primo, who has not been good this season. I don't think he's played much recently. Son of former Flyers legend Keith Primo. I think his save percentage is under 900. So yeah, give me the Flyers here on the money line or puck line. Then give me the over two. Flyers going to open this one up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go against you there with the Habs. The Flyers have been struggling lately. They don't quite have the same underlying numbers that they once did, and they're kind of getting lucky with some of these games, including that game against the Flames in that 3-2 win. Meanwhile, the Canadians are just continue to be these pesky dogs, and plus 145. Maybe it's not the biggest number, but I like to back the Habs when they are at this price or better. So give me the Canadians. Not a strong play for me here. It's I don't like to fade our Flyers here, but especially after like you said, the Gauthier incident, maybe they just come out mad because they lost their kid. I don't know, but I'm not reading anything to that. We're going with the Canadians here, and I like the over as well, though. Kane Premier, you're right, he's not been playing well, if at all, and the Flyers, I think they've been a bit lucky in terms of their not conceding too many goals, and they are also very good off the rush, counterattacking. So I think we could see a back and forth game here with plenty of goals, with like a 4-3 Habs final. And in overtime, I think that this has the likelihood of going OT, and we know what the Habs do in overtime with Cole Caulfield and Suzuki. They are OT shootout specialists.
You want another depressed giraffe on the show tomorrow night? I mean, that'll do it. A fucking overtime loss to the Habs.
I'm going with my boy Ryan on this one, dude. I absolutely 100% think the Torch is going to have these boys geared up and ready to go out of the gate here, especially with all this bullshit that just went down yesterday. Man, this is the kind of coach that this guy is, and by all accounts, a lot of these players have kind of gotten behind it. Man, we're seeing how the success that Philly has had this year. I say this a couple times, and it kind of sounds like a cop-out, but don't fucking galaxy brain this pick, dude. The Montreal Canadiens, I'm sorry, are not playing like a great team. Pesky, I don't even know maybe if I would go that crazy with it, man. But some of these games that I've seen them play, they've been keeping up, but then they just find a way to piss away the game. And you guys talked about it with Caden Primo here. He's not necessarily a great goalie by any means. What is he, a 4-4 record this year? He's got a 3.3 goals against average, a .898 save percentage. Like Ryan said, sub 900 here. Habs 5-4-1 in their last 10, so that's kind of interesting. But the Flyers, dude, the Flyers are going to beat the fucking absolute piss out of the Canadians here. So I'm going to be all over them at minus 175. Anytime you give me any playoff team against the Canadian that's a minus 175, I'm going to take it. Over under, I don't think there's going to be as many goals in this one. Maybe that's a little bit crazy, but I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is wait and see if there's an early goal in the first period, and if there is, if that number moves up to like 6.5, then I'll bet the under. So those are probably my plays.
All right, going down to 7:30 here. We have the Minnesota
His host
Wild
instincts kicked in there.
Dallas Stars. Game itself is in Dallas. Stars are minus 198. Stars on the puck line are plus 124. Suckadilly. Wild are plus 164. Over under is at 6.5. We're paying off plus 102 with the under at minus 122. Talon, what do you got for this one here?
We just saw this game, did we not? I think did they play yesterday?
Last night.
Yeah. Exactly. And I believe the Stars beat up on Minnesota. Although I shouldn't say that. I didn't watch it. I heard that Minnesota was a little feisty, but 4-0 final. The numbers
Matthew Murray with the shutout.
Matthew Murray. So I guess we're seeing Wedgwood in this, maybe, or maybe they could go back to Murray. Who knows?
Might be back. I think pretty soon anyway. Maybe not for this one, but I think he's on the mend.
All right. Well, Stars at home, man. Stars are a kick-ass team, especially at home this year. What's their record? I can't even see it. I was unprepared. They are I suck. They are 12-7-2 at home this year. Technically a better road team, but still. Minnesota's been struggling, dude. Marc-Andre Fleury, I wanted to get the shutout for me the other night. He definitely did not get the shutout for me the other night here. So yeah, I'm going to go with Dallas here, minus 198. But a juice might even be looking for them at regulation as well. I think that could be a decent look here. Then over under, I'm kind of leaning towards the over here, dude. Like, I don't know. This Wild. No, I take the back. I take the words under. Minnesota can't fucking score. They're absolutely terrible. And yeah, that's what I'm going off. I'm just fading the Wild every which way possible because this team is not a playoff team. Go fuck yourself, Minnesota. Give me the Stars. Give me the Stars of regulation. Give me the under 6 minus 122.
I will take next. The biggest issue for me with Dallas is that they're missing Miro Heiskanen, who is basically their whole team, at least their whole defense, and they don't have a lot of quality behind him. So yeah, the blue line for the Stars is really lacking without him. But on the other hand, the Wild losing Kaprizov is massive too. Like they don't have a lot of goal scorers around him. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with Heiskanen being the bigger loss. So at minus 198, I can't do the Stars here. I think the Wild come back strong in this one. Sad as it is to say. Also in that win against the Blue Jackets, Talon, Fleury passed Patrick Waugh to
he did
the second most wins.
Second most.
Yeah, I thought he just won away still, or is he tied now?
He tied it. He tied it.
Okay,
so maybe this is it. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, give me the Wild here. I think that the loss of Heiskanen is a big deal, and then with these home and homes where they go back and forth, it's rare that you see the same team win both games. I know the Stars are the better team naturally, but no, I think the Wild come with a better effort here and at least score a goal and hopefully win this game if you back them. Also, I mean, the injuries to both teams are kind of confusing in terms of like what to do with the over 6.5, the under 6.5. It's you're losing Kaprizov offensively, but Marco Rossi's coming in strong. He's been picking up the pace lately, and without Heiskanen on the back end for the Stars, they are find themselves in their own end a lot of the time. So I don't know. The Stars goaltending has been slightly better lately, but I still can't trust them defensively, and I still can't trust the goaltending. We'll see what happens with Ottinger going forward. I don't know how soon he's coming back, but no real play for the total. Lean to the Wild.
Yeah, I'll lean to the under here at 6.5. I don't think the Wild can score very much. I mean, besides their 4-3 win in Columbus, they scored 0, 1, 1, 2, 2 in their past 5 losses there. They just lose 4-0 to Dallas with Matt Murray in net, making his first start of the season. So I think now with Wedgwood, who's been good, I think they get the job done here at home. But I'm not laying minus 200 here. I'll take them on the puck line, plus 124 or regulation. Dallas beat them 8-3 back in Minnesota in November. Just beat them 4-0. Last year in the playoffs, they beat them rather handily, beat them in 6 games. 3 of those wins were by at least 3 goals, 4-1, 4-0, and 7-3. So I think Dallas here on the puck line at home is the way to go. Minnesota 7-10-2 on the road, and Dallas 12-7-2 at home. So I think Dallas on the puck line is the best play for me. All right, going down to the 10 p.m. time slot to close things out here. We got the Vegas Golden Knights at the Colorado Avalanche. Game itself is in Colorado. Avalanche are minus 142. Golden Knights are plus 120. Over-under is at 6.5. Overpaying off minus 102 with the under at minus 180. Mr. Meyer, what are your Avs going to do here against the Knights?
Yeah, 2 massive games between the Avs. We played the Bruins last night. That was an excellent one. Marchand, of course, going against his fellow Nova Scotian McKinnon. 2 goals there for him. And McKinnon kept up his home point streak, extended it to 21 games. He's closing in on some of the records. I mean, nobody's going to catch Gretzky, who apparently has a 40-game home point streak. I think nobody's catching that. But McKinnon's going to try.
Not all in one season. Did he just get a point in every home game one season?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yeah. So basically every home game he had a point in. So for this one, though, I lean to the Avs. Knights, fuck the Knights. Don't like them at all. And they're not really playing great hockey. And without any solid goaltending, I don't know if Aiden Hill's going to be back for this one. Ryan was saying that he's expected back this week. But I don't know if you want to throw him right into the fire against the Avalanche in Denver. So I lean to the Avs here. Kind of like to bet them. But after that big emotional win against Boston, maybe it's not the best spot. But best bet for me for this one is the over 6.5. The Avalanche just they're scoring a crazy amount of goals, but they're also just very weak defensively right now, and the goaltending is pitiful. One of the worst goaltending tandems in the league this season. I wouldn't be surprised if the Avs go out and get a goalie before the deadline, because Prosvetov and Georgiev are not doing it at the moment. And yeah, defensively not good, but the power play is clicking. Offensively, they're awesome. Like McKinnon is playing unreal right now. McCarr is getting back into the stride of things, ranting and scoring goals. Everyone's clicking offensively. It's just a matter of keeping the puck out of their own net. And the Knights, same kind of thing. Like their defense isn't playing well, and their goaltending is arguably worse than the Avs lately. I don't know if that's possible, but it's pretty close. So I'll have the over 6.5 here. Would be my favorite bet for this one.
Okay. As far as Avs goaltenders go, are you interested in one other Russian? We have a Russian that we can give you. Do you want another Russian for half a year?
Oh, we would have picked them up already. I was on
yeah, you could have had him if you wanted him. You're right. That's fair. And on the other side here, when it comes to what's that team? Vegas's goaltending. I'm seeing Aiden Hill is expected to start. I'm also seeing he's on the IR though, so I don't know how the fuck that works out. I'm also seeing that Logan Thompson is currently out with an illness, and the only other goalie they have called up is Yuri Patera. It would make you think though that if one of these guys weren't, or both Hill and Thompson weren't able to play, they would have called somebody else up to the roster, which they haven't done. So I imagine we'll see one of those two guys playing. And if Yuri Patera is in this game, oh my God help the Knights. Yeah, but I'm with you. My biggest play in this game would have to be the over 6.5, dude. You touched on it, Jolie. Tough goaltending from Colorado's point of view. I think 4 of the past 5 games have gone over. 7 out of the past 10 have gone over the number as well.
12 goals against Florida, and Florida's been an under wagon.
Yeah, exactly, right. And then, but Colorado's scoring too, right? They got the offense as well, so it kind of contrasts and goes well together there. I will definitely be on the over in this game. I fucking hate this game. This is 2 teams that have been shafting me from a gambling point of view all year long, dude. Every time I bet the Avs, they get their shit blown out and then come back to lose by 1. And every time I bet the Knights, they just lay an absolute egg and lose like 4-0 or something stupid like that. So I don't know. Fuck it. Give me the Knights, depending on if Aiden Hill's back. If Aiden Hill is not back and we got Yuri Patera in net or Logan Thompson, give me the Avalanche. That'll be my looks for this game. But the over is definitely my strongest play.
Yeah, Hill could return here on Wednesday night. If not, he'll play Friday. I mean, against Boston, both 2 tough games no matter what. Yeah, I'll probably lean to the Avs here. What did I say? -145 or so, -142. Yeah, they're 17-5 at home. I mean, one of the best home ice advantages in the sport. I think they're playing with the altitude. Vegas has not been good on the road, 9-8-3. And yeah, it's either, I'm not sure if it's forcing Hill back early, but it's, getting him back in a game against a tough spot in Colorado, a tough spot to play with that altitude there. So yeah, like the Avs here, only -142. But I do agree with you guys there. The over 6.5 at -102 is probably the best play, especially if it's Patera. Even if it's Hill, I think, Vegas's defense has been hurt enough to the point where they're not going to necessarily play too well in front of him. And Colorado's been putting up, 4, 5 goals in their last 4 games. So I think the over here is the best bet, and I'll lean to the Avs. All right, consensus plays here for this 3-game slate on Wednesday. I believe it's just the Golden Knights Avs over 6.5 here at -102. All right, got one consensus play there out of the 3 games. And we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bet's revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, speaking of the Hall of Fame, Talon, William Nylander, re-signed to a massive contract there by the Leafs. What are your initial thoughts here?
Yeah, I should be wearing my Nylander jersey right now, but whatever. We'll do that maybe next show. I'll bust that out tomorrow here. All right. William Nylander here. Let's talk about our Willies a little bit here, boys. You guys want to talk about our Willies a little bit? Let's do that.
It's Willie. It's going to be Willie Wednesday, so you have to.
There you go. We should do a couple windmills over at it. No, so William Nylander has been an absolutely fantastic player, especially over the course of the last year and a half. But even before that, this has been a strong, player for your team. This guy had 80 points in 81 games in the 2021-2022 season. Last year, he absolutely popped off, scoring 40 goals and 47 assists for 87 points in 82 games. This year, we know he's just been on a fucking rocket ship. With 37 games, he's got 21 goals. He's on pace for 47 goals, 120 points. Nobody's done that as a Leaf since fucking Dougie Gilmore, which is insane. When you put Nylander in that kind of aspect. But this is how he's playing, man. And the irony is he's not showing any sense of stopping either, right? You watch this guy, and I've said this before, and I'm not putting him in the likes of this players, but maybe it's time to start thinking about it. You look at a guy like Nathan McKinnon, a guy like, Connor McDavid and stuff. These guys drive play. You notice them when they're on the ice. And by no means am I saying that Nylander's in that top tier, because that is the top tier. I'm not saying he's there, but over the past year and a half, this guy has been a standout every time, every night that you watch this game, man. You watch this team play. Who's that buzzing along, breaking in zone entries, making solid plays with the puck? His defensive aspect of his game is so underrated too. This guy will back check and strip the puck of you, similar to a Pavel Datsyuk. It's insane. Nobody ever talks about that. But anyways, the point is that he's a very noticeable player. And this player just got fucking paid, dude. 8 years, $92 million. It's the highest value contract in Leafs history. It's a lot of money, man. $11.5 million cap hit. People have been having a field day. Did you guys talk about it at all yesterday? Did you go deep in it or just touch on it? Or
very, very briefly, we said we'll touch into it when we have Talon back on the show.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a lot of money. It really is. You can't go against that, man. $11.5 million players, and it's a lot of money considering that you have 3 other guys on the team that are making over $11 million or close to $11 million as well. There's no emphasis around that. But man, what do you do when you have good players? You gotta hold on to them, right? You have to. It's a good problem to have that you have 4 guys on your team that are over a point per game. 3 of them are, pushing to be 100-point season players. And everybody says, oh, the Leafs are playing this. Well, how many other teams have 3 guys that are pushing 100 points, Not many teams have that. So I understand the critic point of view saying, oh, you can't be given all this much money. You haven't won. It's proven that you can't win with this. Only one player has ever won a cup with over $10 million cap hit. We're going to see that change pretty often, man, because soon a lot of people are going to be making this. So William Nylander, man, I'm all for this contract. I really am. The biggest thing that I fucking love so much, dude, and I got so much respect for this because, and it sounds so stupid, but for the longest time, it's something this franchise didn't have. We have people that want to be here. An 8-year deal, that's big news in Toronto, man. Even Matthews only signed the 4 couple-year deals or the 4-year deals, 5-year deals and stuff like this, especially out of his ELC and then out of, the contract that he just signed as well. So to have somebody that says, and Nylander loves this fucking city, bro. You can't argue it. This guy did his post-press interview after he signed with a Shugo hat on. I have a Shugo hat too. You know what it is? It's a local mom and pop's Italian restaurant in Toronto. And it's absolutely unreal. It's fun. But how sick is that? This guy just loves the city so much. And for the longest time in Toronto, we didn't have that. Growing up, we had the Matt Sundin era, but after that, nobody was like, oh, I want to be in Toronto. In fact, you heard the opposite. Nobody wants to play here. Nobody wants to be here. Well, now we have guys that do, man. And that's so important. And that's so important for the future of this team, too. For all the young kids growing up in the city, they're like, fuck yeah, I want to play here, So I just got the utmost respect for somebody that says, fuck yes, I want to commit 16 years of my life and my career to this team. Because he's already been here for 8. Just signed another 8-year ticket, full no move clause. He's not leaving Toronto unless he wants to. So I got the utmost respect for that. You can throw Morgan Rielly in that category too. It's a lot of money, man, but this guy's playing fucking lights out. And at the end of the day, are you better with William Nylander on your team or without William Nylander on your team? And I just got to say, you're better with Willie, man. Now, what are the implications here going forward when it comes to Marner, Tavares, whatever it might be? That's a whole different story. But for the love of God, for once in his fucking life with this team, and even if you hate this team, can we just stop talking about numbers? I know it's an important part of the game, but this shouldn't be William Nylander signed. What's the cap hit? What's the cap hit? This should be, holy shit, William Nylander signed to a team that literally doesn't have a lot of records. If you look at like point leaders and shit, there's fucking nobody. There's Matt Sundin, there's nobody else from the past like 40 years. William Nylander signing this contract pretty much just solidified that his jersey will be retired as a Toronto Maple Leaf. He will be top 3 in team scoring for the record of this franchise that's been around for over a fucking 100 years and hasn't done shit. So like it's remarkable that all that just gets pushed to the side. And the first thing that people say is number, too much money. Too much money, can't fit, can't win. Well, guess what? This team goes to the playoffs every fucking year, and all you got to do is get to the goddamn dance. So I just think it's such a fucking shame that nobody talks about the legacy that this player just solidified with this team, and all they do is just say, nope, the numbers. And God forbid if they fucking win a cup with this guy, and he's committed to 16 years of his career with this team, this motherfucker is going to be on Legends Row. We got statues in front of the fucking Air Canada Center, bro. And William Nylander and his gorgeous golden locks, don't you fucking think for a second that they won't be right there, because they fucking will be. So we got a statue for guys that didn't even win a cup with this team. So he's going to be there regardless, man. But like I said, it's awesome to have him. I'm so stoked to have him. I've always loved this fucking player here. And I just think that we need to sit back and take a bit of a broader view and be like, okay, you know what? Our good players that we drafted and developed, which is something that we weren't able to do for 10 fucking 15 years because assholes like Burke and fucking John Ferguson Jr. kept trading all of our first round picks, so we never had any homegrown fucking talent. Well, now we do. And most importantly, they want to stay here. And even what he said, he wants to win here. Every interview that he brought up, he said, this is where I want to win. He didn't say this is where I want to play. He said, this is where I want to win. And, you know, that might be minuscule. You could say it's just all catered to the media. To me, that's special, man. So I'm so happy to have this guy on our team.
Yeah, even if it's catered to the media, like people don't cater to the media. Like that's big for, like you said, it's big for Toronto getting him signed, most expensive contract in Toronto history. And like to the people that say, yeah, you're not going to win with four players over 10 million. You know, maybe not, but you see these other top teams like the Bruins, like the Avalanche, bring like the Leafs even bring in these veterans on like $1 million deals, like JVR in Boston, Shattenkirk, Giordano in Toronto, and like Jonathan Drouin, we've been shouting out in the Discord, and he's been great for the Avs. He's at under $1 million. Cogliano's there under $1 million. Like when you're one of the top teams year after year, veterans on the second half of their career where they're still solid players, they want to play there. They want to win if they haven't won, or they might be the one to get a second one. So yeah, locking him up is huge. It's definitely gonna be, I'm interested to hear what you think is going to happen with Tavares and Marner, if they're going to re-sign one of them, re-sign none of them. But yeah, I mean, this is huge for Toronto, getting him signed now. I likened it to the Pasternak contract when we talked about it a few nights ago. That seems pretty much almost identical. You know, signed a little bit earlier in the season, but a little bit up 11.5 instead of 11.25. But yeah, it's about the same. He's a great winger. He's playing fantastic this season. This seems to be like his breakout year. He's a point per game player. So yeah, I think Toronto has this guy. Locking him up is the smart thing to do.
I'd rather have Pasternak. Like this guy.
Okay, yeah,
more aggressive. I'd rather have his goal scoring in the playoffs too. More improved performer. Although Nylander's been good in the playoffs, I know.
Can I just say that quickly? Everybody that's shit on this guy for the playoffs. This guy had 10 points in 11 games, and even before that, this is the player that always shows up in the playoffs, man. So you can get on. Not always. Yes, always. You look at every year. Every year, look at
him go in the corners. Like remember those little clips, like him trying to battle it with players. Like he was soft. Okay, maybe he's different now.
I don't agree with that whatsoever, Jolie. This guy showed up every year when it comes to the playoffs for this team. You can get on the team for playoff performance. You can't get on William Nylander for playoff performance.
Since the bubble, he has 29 points in 30 playoff games. Like that's good,
and big goals too. It's not like it's just like 4-point games in one game or something to boost those numbers. He's showing up every game in playoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jolie. Continue. My bad.
Definitely lately. But no, all I said on the last show was that it was perfectly average. Like this is what he was expected to get, and this is what he got. So that's fine. But you also said that the no move clause is a sign that he wants to be there and all that, which might be true and all that. But I don't think that's great for the team because he's going to be 29 when this contract kicks in, which will take him all the way to age 37. And there's no way he's going to be the same player at that point as he is right now. And that's a problem. Like in the last 3 years or so of the contract, So that's something to deal with down the road. But of course, the window is now, right, for the Leafs. So you're not too worried about that. But Pastrnak, at the same time, he doesn't have a no move clause after the first 4 years of the contract. So I really like the Pastrnak deal better. That's all I'm saying about that. Like the Bruins can get rid of him after 4 or 5 years if they wanted to. Not that I expect that to happen, but they at least have some flexibility in that respect. But no, this is fine for the Leafs. I disagree with building from the front back. Like I like building with big defenders, like paying your elite defensemen and winning the cup that way. That's the way most teams win the cup, with defense and goaltending. The Leafs are going like a different approach, which is fine if it works out for them. But I don't see it happening. But good for you. Yeah, you get the guy locked in. As a fan, you want to see this guy around for a long time, and I totally understand that.
Yeah, so Nylander will be turning 36 when this contract ends. The one thing I want to say, dude, like this guy has turned into the player that everybody says he wouldn't. You know, like everybody says, oh, you think William, you think soft, you think selfish, you think doesn't go into the corners and stuff. You know, maybe he's not going into the corners and taking big hits, man. But this guy, especially this year, hasn't been afraid to go in there and muck it up a little bit. This guy's jacked, dude. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of Nylander without his shirt on. He's a fucking horse. And obviously you have to have the mindset to go with it, bro. But the one thing I will say now, and this isn't even being harsh. This is what it is. If you're making $11.5 million, you have to be a perennial 40 goal scorer now. You have to be scoring 40 goals a year for at least, 6 out of the 8 years of this deal. And that's hard to do. That's hard to ask, but he's showing that right now that he can do that. He has to keep that up, because if he doesn't, he is open to criticism, and rightfully so. If this guy goes up and puts up, 30 goals and, 75 points, well, guess what? That's not good enough. For the amount of money that you're making, that's not good enough. It's as simple as that. So when you take this money, you also have to know that, hey, you obviously you have been one of the guys, but now your expectations are through the roof. Keep in mind, this is the one player when it came to the Marner Matthews Nylander negotiations that only made $6.9 million, and he had to hold out for half a fucking year in order to get it. So he's been grossly underpaid throughout his entire second contract. Now you got the money. You can't let that productivity slip off, man. You have to be scoring 40 goals a year, over a point per game player when you're making that much money. The one thing I will say compared to the Pastrnak deal, because apparently Joel and I are going to have to fight over this. If you look at percentage of the cap here, when Pastrnak signed, he signed for a much larger percentage of the cap than William Nylander did. Because that cap went up $4.5 million or something next year, which is when this deal kicks in. Pastrnak signed last year, man. So percentage of the cap wise, that greedy pig David Pastrnak took more. So that's all I'm going to say.
He deserves more.
I mean, he is better. Yeah.
Yes, we can all agree that David Pastrnak is better than William Nylander. No one's going to argue about that. But yeah, dude. So I don't know. When it comes to what do we do going forward, and everybody says, "Oh, well, Leafs are fucked on the salary cap long term." Now look at B Dubs in the Discord with this one guys. Like, oh, where are you going to get all this magical cap space? Just look at the fucking numbers, man. Like, I'm sorry, you can go with that narrative all you want. Tavares' $11 million is coming off the books as of next year. Yes, you have to pay Mitch Marner if you want him to be around, which I imagine they will. But, do you think John Tavares is going to sign for $9 million on his next contract? Realistically, if John Tavares signs for anything under $7 million, all you did was flip those two numbers. Nylander at 7 and Tavares at 11. All you did was flip it. So you're working with the same thing. But you can, no matter how much you say that to anybody else, they're just going to say, nope, disregard it. Nope, disregard it. So if we do have any Leaf fans that listen, which I don't think they do, you can always bring that up. But to everybody else, just be open to it. And truth be told, I don't think Tavares is going to be asking for $7 million on his next deal, man. This is a guy that, you can laugh and say, oh, you could say he wants to be in Toronto, but does he really? He wants the money. He's made $100 million. His entire family lives in the fucking GTA. His wife's family lives in the GTA. His wife's sister cuts my mom's hair, for Christ's sakes, and Whippy. So when this guy's this old, he's going to be 35 at the end of this deal for Tavares. Obviously on the latter half of his career, obviously he wants to win. He's the captain of the Leafs. I don't think he's going to be going gouging at the fucking contract table. I wouldn't be surprised to see this guy takes the Bergeron or the Chara. Well, guess what? You get to captain the team. You get what we have left. You want a 1-year deal at $5 million this year? Sure, take it. Maybe next year it's a $1 million or 1-year deal at fucking $4.2 million because that's what we have left. Sure, take it. But to argue that Johnny Toronto is going to go anywhere else at this point in his career is absolutely crazy to me. And to think that he's going to be price gouging, it's unrealistic. So the irony is, though, if you did want to break up this core four, when it comes to the Marner, Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews, the guy that wanted to do it, and the only guy in the history of this team that was like, okay, I'm open to looking into moving this core four. Fucking Brendan Shanahan canned and fucking axed him, Kyle Dubas. And then, some people, someone on the show especially, tarred and feathered him on his way out. So if you're going to come at us saying the whole, fucking, you can't win with the core four locked up to this much fucking money. Well, the one guy that wanted to actually fucking move it and looked into moving away from them, he
didn't actually do it, though. He didn't do it.
He didn't get a chance to do it. He said it. That's what he said in that fucking press conference. And they fired
he's the one who signed the contracts to begin with.
Oh my God, you're fucked in the head. Like, he was the only one that ever said, yes, I'm willing to part ways with this. And
we can and we will. Again. That's what he said about signing those guys.
6 years ago. What about fucking 6 months ago? Like, come on. Like, what are we doing
He's
here?
repairing his past mistakes. That's all.
Yeah, well, at least he was willing to do so. And instead, what did Shanahan do? He said, fuck no, get out of here. You're not breaking up my core. And this isn't these Matthews and Nylander signings. Let me preface this. These aren't Brad Treliving signings. This was Brandon Shanahan. Okay. Everybody knows who's really running the shots when it comes to major decisions in this organization. And that was proven last year with what we just saw and what we just talked about. So if it doesn't work, don't get at me with the Dubas gave these guys too much fucking money. You better be coming balls to the wall. I'll buy you the feathers. You bring the tar, and you better be knocking on Shanny's door, Joel. So that's all I'm going to say. And Kyprios hates that. Kyprios isn't going to rip into Shanny. He hates that. He's sitting there right now just, exactly. So, and all you fuckers are going to be like that too. So I'm just saying, the one guy that was willing to move away from the core four was the guy that you fucking threw to the curb. So if you're going to come at me with that, that's all I'm going to bring up.
I do like that point about Tavares and Nylander pretty much probably switching cap hits after next season. But so yeah, and then you got either Nyes or Robertson or Holmberg, like one of them hopefully stepping up. So yeah, that's my thing. Like, and one more thing, I know, Talon, you don't care about this, but the underlying metrics do back up Nylander being one of the best two-way forwards there on the Leafs. The
love analytics.
Now he loves it. Yeah.
The Bertuzzi Tavares Nylander line has an expected goals +4% of 60.9, according to Money Puck, which is the 13th best out of 113 lines with at least 100 minutes together. So yeah, that's my question. Is Marner just bound for Chicago after next season?
No, Marner's going to resign. Marner's going to want so much fucking money. And you know what the irony is that this guy is going to get carved, because when it comes to Leaf fans, they had such a sour taste in their mouth with fucking Darren Ferris, his agent, and Marner the last time around. And everybody says Matthews get the money. Well, Matthews got the money. Marner's agent went out the day of the signing and carved the contract. How fucked up is that? Nylander takes a discount, not a discount, but $6.9 million is a good fucking number for what he was playing under. And now Marner just gets carved, bro. So if this guy is asked for anything, like, you can't pay him more than Matthews. And Matthews signed what, 13.25? So Nylander signed. If I'm sorry, if I'm like Treliving or Brendan Shanahan, I guess I'm saying Marner, you get 12. Simple as that. That's what we're giving you. If you don't want it, fucking leave. Simple as that. And you know what? Then you got $12 million to do something else. And if $12 million a year is, you know what he is.
You said he's a passenger this season, right? In the Discord?
But, I didn't say
he's a great passenger.
I think you said passenger.
Someone said passenger. Maybe been Joel.
Okay,
let
me tell you right now.
In there.
Mitch Marner has had a rough year compared to what he's used to, but this is a guy that pushes 100 points perennially every fucking year. You can say, oh, he's on a line with Matthews. Well, he makes Matthews better. Look what happened last year. Matthews had a tough go. He only had 40 goals. He was injured. And truth be told, there's some rumor that Marner has a pretty fucked up hand injury right now. So this is a player that's still worth $12 million. Don't get me wrong. Mitch Marner is
this game's about to start. We got to wrap this up. I'd love to spend another 20 minutes on the Leafs, and I hope we get to spend another hour on Mikko Rantanen when he has to re-sign.
He can, but you never want to fucking talk about your players. All you do is bitch about everybody else that does.
Nobody cares about one single team.
I would talk about Rantanen forever.
Thoughts about the team. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Everyone loves the Leafs. It pays the bills, I guess. Maybe I think we have a lot more American listeners than Canadian ones, but yeah, in Canada, it's absolutely smart logic to talk about the Leafs. But I think we need to wrap this up because I want to watch these fucking games, man.
Yeah, that's on us. We forgot Talon was available to record, so we thought it was just going to be Joel and I talking 3 games and Cutter Gauthier and Team Futures, which we'll get to. I guess our next.
I will just
show. You want to just throw them out?
We can save them. I can throw them out.
Just throw them out now. You bet them. You to do research. Just throw out the bets.
Penguins over 93.5 points. Devils missed the playoffs. Devils under 96.5 points. Just making my money back before the season. Hopefully, don't get Polish middled. And what was the other one? I don't remember the other one. There was one more.
Just Blackhawks again, probably Blackhawks under.
No, yeah, that's a given. Just bet the Blackhawks under. They're going to lose to Oilers tonight, and it'll go down. Yeah. So Devils unders, Penguins overs. Oh, Islanders missed the playoffs. I got a plus 130. I don't know what's out there, but yeah, one of those is going to hit. Devils, Islanders. I don't think both are making the playoffs. Devils are just in so much trouble right now. Losing Siegenthaler for extended time now. Broken foot. I don't think they're getting Dougie Hamilton back anytime soon. And unless they go out on a crazy spending spree to try to save the season, which I do not recommend, I think that just chuck the season out, rebuild for next year. I think, and Jack Hughes out for weeks too. So the Devils are
out for weeks. I saw it was like indefinite, but I wasn't sure if there was
week to week is the word. So yeah, it's not good for the Devils. So unfortunately, I think they missed the playoffs. Jack Hughes. Yeah.
That's a good look then. Devils miss playoffs. Yeah.
We can talk about this stuff more in depth next time we get some time. We're not talking about the Leafs doll show.
Oh, fuck you. It was in the news, Joel. Suck my dick. If you ever want to talk about your ass, we would be all on board, you asshole. We just listened to Ryan talk about the Flyers for 20 minutes, too. So fuck you.
Love you.
All right, Harris. Let's close this out. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Given podcast on Apple, Spotify. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Read it here. YouTube, comment, like, follow, all that good stuff there. We're seeing good growth. So shout out to all the new listeners and the loyalists as well. Of course, everyone in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. Great support system. If you're not in there, you're not making money. And follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Been posting some clips up there from the SMAP. So make sure you follow us there on Twitter at HockeySGPN.
Right on, man. All right, my name is Talon Jenkins. You can find me at Twitter at Talon_Jenkins94. You can also find me leaving voicemails, just talking about the Leafs to Joel Meyer's phone, baby. 1.5 hour long conversations about the implications of Pontus Holmberg and Dennis Hildeby. Let's fucking go.
I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
I'm Joel Meyer. You can find me telling Talon that I don't have a phone. Send some mail instead. You know,
are you Indian?
Send a telegram. Morse code.
Wait, is Joel whacked?
I always say he's not a real person.
Yeah, there you go. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Ryan, you say the peace.
Peace.